As a society, I find that we're striving for mediocrity, and the reason why we do that is because we're just scared and we have such high-level limiting beliefs that we don't even think things are possible. And so what I want to share with you is what y'all need in your life are expanders. Now, what I say all the time is proximity is power. You put me in a room full of amazing people, I'm going to rise to that level of those amazing people, or you know what? I might not, and I might wash out, but I can tell you that putting yourself in that room is gonna really teach you a lot and gonna be the determining factor. But let's pretend here for a minute that we wanna be great, right? Put yourself in a room where you're uncomfortable. Put yourself in a place where people make you feel like you're not the smartest, you're not the toughest, you're not the sharpest person in the room. Those are the people that are gonna actually force you to grow. And so when I think about this striving for mediocrity piece, it's really interesting to me because I find that all of us are raised with this conditioning, right? And this conditioning tells us, hey, like this is who you are, this is where you grew up, this is what your grandfather was like, this is what your friends are like, this is what you're gonna be like, this is what your life's going to equate to. And we see this in many, many cultures, and it's way deeply embedded, way more than the US, right? The US kind of has this idea of like, you can be whatever you wanna be. But even with that mentality, which we've created so many amazing entrepreneurs and so many inventors and just so much expansion, where you don't see that maybe in other cultures, we still have the limiting conditioning belief. So what I want to do right now is I want to fight for you. I want to fight for your possibility, and I don't want to fight for your limitations. So I'm going to argue with you. I'm going to argue for your possibility. And so what I want to share with you is it's about stepping into your highest vibration. And I talk about this a lot in our workshops because it's so important. I want you to think about this for just 1 minute. When you're in a high vibratory state, you're super expansive in your thinking, right? You're like, anything could be possible. And it could just be like, you might chalk it up the next day as like, oh, you know, like I was just in a really crazy mood and I was thinking grandiose. Okay, cool, but you were still thinking grandiose. And if you can think grandiose and bold, right? I talk about Muhammad Ali, I talk about Mike Tyson. I want you to think bold like these people, because eventually that bold thinking will lead to bold results, which will lead to bold outcomes. And if you are in a low vibratory state, let's just pretend you're even sick, right? You're just sick in bed with the flu or something. You are restrictive, you're contracting, you don't show up, you don't have that kind of energy. And when you don't have that kind of energy, nothing seems possible. Everything seems hard. Everything seems difficult. So I want you to think about that for a minute. I want you to think about what you need to do to cultivate this high vibrational state in your life, right? So that you can move beyond mediocrity. And as I said, proximity is power for this one, right? Like proximity is huge, because being around people that aren't gonna listen to your bullshit, that are gonna hold you accountable, and they're gonna raise the bar, so thus you have to raise the bar, is exactly what you need in your life. You need a community of like-minded people that want what you want, but are just better than you, and they're striving, and they're goal-oriented, and they want what you want out of life, and it forces you to level up. Because what happens is, those energies and those vibrations, they can't stay in the same room together if they're not vibing anymore. You see this happen when you outgrow friends, you outgrow high school friends and college friends, jobs, like you just don't fit anymore. So if you're in those spaces and they're not mediocre, you will become exactly what they are or greater, or you will wash out and fall off. So think about raising your vibratory state, thinking about striving above mediocrity, and think about what you need to do in your life to make this a reality, because this is where the magic happens.